Welcome to the Clean and Business Mastermind podcast. Today, I sit down with James Hatfield, an entrepreneur who got his start in the pressure washing and painting business and has now scaled into the tech space, helping entrepreneurs and service businesses like mine and yours with live video through his technology called LiveSwitch. Amazing story. We also go over his whole journey, the mindset shifts it took for him to keep going, and what it takes to build $1 billion company. And make sure you stick around for his whole LinkedIn strategy and how it can help you make money, because I never knew how to use LinkedIn. But anyway, let's get into the video. Today on the Clean and Business Mastermind podcast, I have James Hatfield. He is a renowned entrepreneur, has built businesses. He's been in the trenches before, and now he is doing things on a more higher level. And I want to get right into it, man. I want to ask you pretty much, how did you start? I want to take it back to when you first got into your cleaning business, your painting business, and now what you're doing. How did this transition happen, and what got you inspired to do business in general?
Well, when you come from nothing, you got to go do this thing called work hard, right? You got to go work to put food on the table, put money in the bank account, right? So my grandfather didn't come from anything. Actually, his dad died young, and he had to drop out of high school and to work at a tire shop, and he became the man of the house. And so he had to, at the age of 16, could you imagine that?
Wow.
Yep. And my father built his own house. He came from nothing. His dad died young too. So grateful. My dad didn't die young. He's around, and he wanted me to be a plumber, and my grandfather wanted me to be a painter. That was the big dreams for me. So, when you come from nothing, that's a big dream, to own your own business, rather than go and work for somebody. So right when I graduated high school, I started my business. That's what I wanted to do. And I had been working for a guy and learning how to run a business even while I was in high school, because I wanted to get myself prepared. Like, how do I do everything? How do I hire? How do I lead? How do I grow? And I learned how to paint and power wash homes from head to toe. And so then I just put on my little hat, got my little polo, and I knocked on doors. That's how I got my job, and I'm dating myself. There was no internet, wasn't a big thing. Yellow Pages was a big thing. The first cell phones were just coming out. So I'm dating myself, but I've lived my life walking door to door in the heat. I've lived my life up in the air and on a ladder. And, I had my crews, and it was my job to make sure that the job got done well, that we had business coming through the door, and to grow the business. And so that's where I started. And, I love that business, and it taught me a lot, and I did it for many years. And one area I knew I wasn't strong was in my books. Like, I didn't know my books really well. When I say the books, like the numbers, like I wanted to make sure I was running the cash the right way. So back then, state college was affordable. It's not affordable anymore, but it's affordable back then. And so during the evenings, I put myself back to work in school as well. So I guess when you're younger and have a little more energy, you can do those things. So but that's where my great transition started to happen there. And it's got networked, but that's where I started.
Very, very, very nice, man. I totally relate to your story right there. We didn't talk about this before, but just going back to what you said about your grandfather.
Yeah.
My father passed away when I was 4 years old, man. And I like to think about, as much as I would have loved my father to watch me grow up and all that, the things that you go through in life, this is kind of just what just hit me right now. If I had never had that experience with my father passing away when I was 4 years old, my mom would have never met my stepdad, and we would never, learn about the cleaning business in general. Just my personal perspective. So, it worked out how I was supposed to, right? And I can.
That's right.
I
That's
can
right.
imagine. You relate
my
to that.
grandfather was not my birth grandfather, right? So it's wild how these men who step in the fold, they step in as a stepdad or, kind of grandfather. I don't know what the actual term is, and how they influence us to our core and build us. But we never forget, like, hey, I didn't have, that fatherly figure around, but what an impact that it has. And it's incredible how we're all connected in different ways like that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love that, man. I've never actually shared that on this particular channel before, but you just made me, that just struck a chord with me, man. So I see how the transition happens. But I want to ask you, so you were kind of groomed, you kind of watched them do their thing. What particular mindset shifts had to happen for you to say, okay, you know what? I can do this. I can actually run a business and grow it, and then forcing yourself back to school, which is not easy, for a young person. What kind of mindset shifts did you go through, and what had to happen for you to say, I can do this full time for real?
Yeah, well, sometimes you got to start in the gutter before you can get back to the top, right? So even during that time, I had some of my closest friends were passing away, which was really hard on me, right? So even to keep myself together mentally at that time, and we didn't talk much about mental health back in the day. It was basically like rub some dirt in it and get over it, you know?
Mm,
But it was hard to get over, right? But the thing that kept me going is like, all right, I gotta, I have some things in my background, faith-wise, that kept me going, but also just knowing that I had people relying on me, right? Like it's one thing to pay for yourself, but when you have a team and you have a staff, you're not just working for yourself anymore, And I always find that, as you grow families, I got a large family now, lots of kids. I know you do too, that the motivation comes outside of yourself. And
mm.
maybe that's the best because if I focused on me during that time, I was a train wreck. I mean, I probably would just want to just fold up and call it a day, and I think that we all struggle with that, right? We want to check out. We want to medicate ourselves, with whatever it is, whether it's Netflix and chill or whether it's drugs and alcohol or things that are vices, we got to watch out for that stuff. And so when I put my eyes out on my team or on what I'm trying to do, that keeps me going forward, even when I'm going through my own stuff. You know what I mean? Because we all got
Absolutely.
stuff. We all got stuff, you know. But that's what keeps me going. And then obviously when you taste a little success, but we learn the hard way too. I mean, it's not all sunshine and fairy tales and rainbows for all of us, right? We get those customers we shouldn't have said yes to. We get those staff members that, man, we just can't coach up, so we got to get them out, and that's tough, But you got to be tough. I mean, I think there's a lot of just mental toughness, and I equate it a lot to like sports as well. Some of my best um, team members were ex-athletes because they knew how to put in that discipline, that two-a-days, that extra effort, that, hey, now it's championship, a little bit of sweat, a little bit of, heebie-jeebies in your belly where you're like, all right, here we go. You got to take courage. It takes courage to knock on a door. It takes courage to be told no and to go and say, oh, let me have another. Let me have another. I'm going to keep going because I'm going for the yeses, not the nos. So there's a mental toughness, there's a grit and a hustle, and then thinking about other people that I think keep you, striving forward.
I love that. That's a good point right there. And speaking of team members, man, that's something that I feel like a lot of us have challenges with. How did you make that transition from doing all the work to starting to build a team? How was that for you? What was the hardest part of that process for you?
So I do think the hardest part is making sure you bring the right people in, no matter what. Finding good people is always, that's top for me. Like I want to surround because I try to make myself redundant as fast as possible. There's a lot of people who think, oh, nobody can do it as well as me. That's not going to be a fast growing company. That's going to be only go as high as that leader goes. But I always try to make myself redundant. I give away my positions. I give away my roles. Like I'm like, what can I do to go ahead and sleep on the couch? Basically, because I've made myself completely redundant. Not that I'm going to go sleep on the couch, but like bringing someone in is step one, the right person. Transferring the skills is step two, and then elevating those individuals to take ownership and responsibility. I don't even like the word employees. I'm going to try to find owners.
I love that.
Owners, here's the difference between an owner and employee. When you're in the office and you see trash on the floor, the employee will walk by it because it's like, not my job, not my problem. An owner will look down, they'll grab that piece of trash and they'll throw it in the trash can, right? Because they love it. Like, when's the last time you washed a rental car, Darian? You did.
I've never watched a rental car at all.
Nobody's
No.
ever washed a rental car in their life, right? Nobody. It's
Right.
you but if it's your own car, you wash it, right? So you got to learn how to transfer ownership to your people because then they're going to wash the car and pick up the trash.
That's huge right there. And I think that's something I've been learning as well. Just personally, I have dealt with team members who does have that ownership mentality, and I don't have to check after them or supervise them so much. And then you got the ones where you're like, man, why do I have to babysit you? And I can see that's a bottleneck. That's a headache right there. What kind of incentives or something would you give to someone? Do you have to have incentives? What does that take to transfer that ownership mentality to a team member who you want to who you know can be good and could step it up some more, but they just haven't.
Yeah. So it comes down to a lot of things. There's not a one thing I give you and then it unlocks it. It's multiple things. Okay. The first thing is you got to spend time with your people, right? Um, to spur one another on, right? When you want to spur something like a horse, right? Your they hurt, man. You get dug in the side, but when you spur that horse, it runs faster, right? So
Mm.
how do I get the opportunity to spur a horse? I got to feed it. I got to clothe it. I got to love it. I got to put new shoes on it. And then I can spur it, right? Are you loving your people? You don't need to give them kisses and hugs, but you need to be able to establish that trust. So and let them know I'm going to spur you because those wounds from me can be trusted, right? When I tell you the truth, some people don't like the truth, but I have taken. They're going to come to a fork in the road, right? When I hit you with the truth, you're either going to get sad and you're going to walk away, or you're going to take that and do something with it, and you're going to step up, right? Like when you go to the gym, you put more weight on the bar, and it's in your body tells you, man, that hurts, right? Same way with your team, all right? So that's one very important thing. Two, yes, it can come down to monetary things, and you can be really smart about it. All right. One thing I know a lot of my owners that I work with do will put aside a bonus pool. So they know that's not random. It's like, hey, what you keeping up with your business. All right. Maybe every quarter, something that you predetermine, and it doesn't, whatever you can afford. And if you can't afford that, there's some fun things you can do. Like I've heard some owners when they're getting started, they'll literally go get raffle tickets from Amazon. They'll get prizes, like their guys usually like tools or food or whatever. And then when they see them doing a right thing, say, hey, here's a raffle ticket. Here's a raffle ticket. And then they'll bring the team together at the quarter. And if someone's on the job, hey, I'll do it for you. And they'll pull out the raffle ticket and say, hey, look, this is for you. That's a junior version. That's just getting started. I ain't got money to throw around version, right? Next
Hmm.
version, when you do have cash, you can set aside a bonus pool and you can set aside key performance indicators, things that you're looking for. Hey, you get a customer testimonial. Boom. All right, I'm gonna give you a little check. You incentivize the right things. Now, if they're doing, and you can say, hey, it can go the other way too, right? And what we're gonna do is we're gonna have a leaderboard. We're gonna have a leaderboard. Everyone says, I want to get paid more. I want to get paid more. I'll tell you, get paid more. Do more of the right things, and then that's your share of the bonus. That's your share of that bonus. All right. So if I set aside $3,000 and somebody gets, 20% of the check marks, they're going to get 20% of that bonus. So you sit down with an employee, have a one-on-one, tell them the truth. And they're like, hey, boss, I'm not getting enough. I'm like, hey, here's the things I'm looking for. You're capable of doing all these things. Let's get that done. Right. So you can come up with things like that. It's incentives and it's intensity of that one-on-one time with a team.
Right. That's helpful for me too because I've been thinking of ways to do that. I've been thinking of company parties and all that kind of stuff. You have stuff like that when you were first getting started. I guess starting with your service business, going with your team. I would imagine y'all were dispersed a lot of the times, unless y'all, I guess, went together. How did that work when you have a team that is kind of spread out? Y'all don't necessarily go to a facility and work with each other all day. How does that work? How often did y'all get together and stuff like that?
Well, in my service-based business, I had two teams, right? And so I'd had those two, they all stuck together. They were close, right? And then I would go between both of them. And then I'm also out front. If I need to be on a ladder with one of the teams for one day, I'm on a ladder. But a lot of times I got to go get the business. So I was our sales. I was running the sales side of the business for a lot of it, and afterwards, like just making sure we got the money. It came in the bank. I was getting the new jobs. I was going after a recurring business, and then I was spreading it between the teams, right? And then I also had to go to school as well, right? So that was in the evening. So but again, I had a lot more energy back then. But I didn't do big parties. I did a lot more of that one-on-one time. Like I'm the leader, I'm here helping you out. I'm elevating you. I'm teaching you how to become an owner. I'm letting you know what it takes. And people are like, well, aren't you worried about someone to go leave you and start another business to compete against you? Yeah, that's a real risk. But that's not what I consume myself with. I consume myself with elevating team members. I'm going to leave you better than I found you,
Mm-hmm.
right? That's what I'm going to do. And you're with me for a season. Usually you don't get those lifelong employees that stay with you from day one till their retirement. So you get everybody for a season, right? But so you deal with that, you know what I mean? And that's how I really created the core around that. Let them be in teams, but then let me come around and they see and know me.
I like that right there. Instead of being so far removed to where they don't interact with you at all, that's kind of where I'm at right now. I would say I want to selfishly, if you don't mind, kind of coach me on this real quick, man. Because right now I'm in a position where I'm doing more project management stuff as well as operations management and sales, right? My ideal situation would be able to just go into sales, do what you're talking about, finding more clients, bringing in more recurring revenue. But when we have these big post construction cleans, I'm in a situation where I'm project managing, I'm directing traffic, I'm making sure, hey, let's get this done, let's get that done. And I'm on site probably more than I probably should be. How would you recommend? Is there somebody you pulled up to make like a team lead? And hey, I'm thinking I don't know who that guy is for me right now on the project management side with that kind of stuff. Now, throughout the daily janitorial, we have that, but what would you recommend? How should I do that?
Yep, you're answering a lot of your own question,
Mm-hmm.
right? You're thinking about redundancy. Who is going to take the project management seat or the sales seat, right? Maybe you need to get the sales side so you can do the project management side. I don't know. But what you are need to be asking is who are you building up into that role? And if you're not building up into that role, then you need to be hiring for that role. Well, I don't have a room for someone else. Well, then you're going to have to get rid of somebody. All right. Here's the here's the hard part of running a business. A business has three things going on. And if you don't have these three things, you have a cancer in your business. Hiring, firing, and promoting. When's the last time you
Mm,
fired someone, Darren? When's the last time you parted ways? Right? Because you got to
mm,
bring on that next player. You got to remove a player. Think of it like a basketball team. That's what I did. I'm trying to level up. If LeBron James wants to be on my basketball team and I don't have a spot for him, guess what happens? I take the least player and they got to go. That's just what it is. They have to go. So, because I make space for that. So, if you have someone that can step up, great. Ask them, guys, I'm in desperate need of teaching someone to be a project manager right now. Does anybody in the company want to apply for that role?
mm.
Interview people you already have. Interviewing doesn't stop after the first one. Interview your team. This is what I need. You're very transparent and clear. Here's why we need it. Here's what the value to our business and owners. Remember, not employees, owners. Everybody see the value of this. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody on here able to learn? So I'm going to make myself redundant with you. Right now,
Right.
if no one steps up, time to put out an opening. Hey, we need to hire a project manager. You bring in that person. If you can afford it, great. You're added to the team. If you can't afford it, someone needs to go. That's where I'd be at. It's a little bit tough, but
Great
that's what
point.
what you need. It sounds like
I like that right there. Okay, you said hiring, firing, and promoting.
correct.
Man, that's good right there because I think we think about hiring more than anything and we kind of forget about the firing part. It just kind of happens whenever it happens. And we probably keep people for longer than we probably should. I've struggled with that before and gotten down to the wire and it's like, all right, now it's really time to go. Something drastic happens instead of seeing that first or second red flag and it's like, all right, that's a wrap. Um, Thank you for that right there, man. You you
You're
got you
welcome.
got my wheels turning right there, and I'm sure other people are getting help from this too. I want to transition a little bit to where you are now. So you started out building your service-based businesses, and now you are helping service-based businesses grow, and you got the speed to lead tactic or strategy that you have with LiveSwitch, which great branding by the way, man. I see all your logos right there. It looks very cool. So what is this, man? Tell me about LiveSwitch, and then how did you get there? How did you get to this LiveSwitch state?
Okay, so prior to LiveSwitch, when I went into college, I graduated college, right, and I went after learning my numbers, right? I wanted the accounting side of the business. Well, I ended up connecting with my partner now. We've been together ever since. And he was graduating as well. And he created an expert system for taking your income statement balance sheet that you get from your bookkeeper, and it would translate it into plain language where a business owner could understand how they're doing. And it would give them recommendations. And I was like, that's really cool. So I started off, I was like, hey, I'm good at selling. And he's like, do you want to make a switch? And I'm like, let's give it a shot. So I start selling what he built. And we went from nothing. We were working in an incubator, like nothing. And then we went from that to Inc. 500, which means you're one of the fastest growing companies in the country. And then now it's a multi-billion-dollar company. So that worked out pretty well. All right. We had an exit there, sold it. Okay. And we can talk about selling companies, maybe not on this show, but a future one. We sold that one. We both got into philanthropy. All right. Meaning I started some nonprofits. He did as well. And then from there, we were like, let's build another billion-dollar company. But this time, let's buy a company rather than starting from scratch so we can get down the chessboard a little bit faster. So we looked all over the world and we found a company in Vancouver, Canada, purchased that company 4 years ago. And this company specializes in a technology I would imagine no one on the show has ever heard of, which is fine. But you probably touched our stuff and you had no idea. The kind of technology is called WebRTC, Web Real-Time Communication. We did the Super Bowl this year and last year. If you go to an MLB ballpark or any stadium and scan a QR code, they put your face on the Jumbotron. That's us. We did the All-Star game for basketball. If you remember back a few years ago in COVID when WWE Wrestling had a stadium in Florida filled with TV screens instead of fans, and the fans were being brought in from all over the world via, onto those TV screens, we powered that. And we power all kinds of stuff.
I remember that. Okay, perfect. My apologies. You talking about where they were in the stadium and it was the dome situation where they had to make it look like they had crowds in there?
Yep.
Okay,
we did
great.
that.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay,
NBA,
great.
NBA, we did it for NBA, WWE, like we did. So that technology is connecting people point to point anywhere on the globe. So we got a chance, and I got to work with the chief of police of Washington, D.C. to reinvent the 911 phone call. So we had to come up with a way because when you make a 911 call, you call on your phone, right? Which is also, ironically, the worst part of your phone because it's on an ancient technology called telephony. Okay. And now you can only hear, like when a citizen is in a compromised situation. We wanted to find a way to quickly tap into your cameras so you could point your camera at the situation and that live video stream goes right to the police car, fire truck, or emergency medical. So I came up with the idea of like, oh, let's just have it send a text message. No app needed. You just tap it and boom, you're connected. And so as we're building that, I was like, well, who else could use this? And I meet the guy who's taking care of the, excuse me, I'll lose my voice, the NFL team, the Tennessee Titans. He's 20 years in the FBI and he's the security for them. And I'm showing him my emergency stuff. He's like, James, this is really cool. But he's like, I got the stupidest question. He's like, sometimes I got to take my little golf cart and drive all across the stadium to one of my other team members. He's like, can I just text them and they show me what's going on? Save me a trip in my little golf cart. And that's when I was like, oh, this reminds me of the Nextel walkie-talkie from back in the day where you just click it. And I'm like, now it's with our eyes. So from there, I started talking to one of my friends who's in the Hall of Fame of self-storage. I didn't even know there was a Hall of Fame of self-storage. He's like, James, I'm telling him like I'm telling you, like the same story. He's like, why don't you come in and disrupt self-storage? We're trying to like manage all these facilities, but with less people. So I was like, I don't know anything about self-storage. He's like, well, come with me to Vegas and I'll introduce you to everybody who's like the smarty pants people in there because you're the tech guy now. So I start putting pen to paper. And in my ignorance, I started phoning and calling up moving and storage company because it said storage. I didn't know better. It's not the same kind of storage. It's warehousing. But I met a really smart guy and he said, hey, James, I show him my stuff. Like I'm talking about you. He's like, James, you don't know, you're sitting on a pot of gold, like liquid gold. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, the most expensive thing I do as a business owner, and you should know this, is put somebody who I pay hourly into one of my trucks that I got to put gas in, and they drive out somewhere in the hopes of closing down a deal. Everybody does it.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, what we're going to do is when that phone call comes in or that form fill comes in from my website, I'm going to use your stuff so I can see the job without driving out. It's speed to lead. And I can see the job And if I can, I'm going to try to bid it and win it right then. If I can't, at least I know it's worth driving out for. Because he's like, I've driven out plenty of times just to drive into that driveway, whether at an office or, someone's house. And I already know before walking in, they ain't got no money. Or they're just kicking the tires. Like, they're going to find out what the price is and be like, oh, I'm going to do it myself. So now he's like, they see me, establish trust. I see them, I see the job, and I either close it or drive out. And he was right. And we got hundreds and hundreds of businesses and thousands of users all over the world using this for that exact purpose.
And it started like that with the guy that you met from the moving and storage, and then you ended up sharing it with other service businesses, and then next thing you know, y'all have grown this into where companies like mine, pressure washing companies.
We're under the hood now of ResponsiBid, which is big in cleaning. Right, we're under the hood of there. You can use our stuff right through ResponsiBid. We're under the hood of Jobber. We're under the hood of Service Titan. I'm sure you've heard a few of these companies, right?
Absolutely.
So we are the engine because none of these companies had this live video because it's really hard. We're only one of 4 companies in the world that can do this. One of them is Google, and Google doesn't care about cleaning companies, I guarantee you. So we took it again. I was trying to reinvent the 911 phone call, right? Government just takes forever. Right. We do a lot with the government, but this kind of technology, like I want to put this in the hands of where I come from. Like my partner, he ran landscaping companies, had laundromats. I ran power washing companies, painting companies. So it's full circle moment for us. We're going all in on this because now that we've been doing this for almost 2 years now and getting feedback from our customers, that I have people their first week using this being like, geez, I closed a deal right on the spot. I can't believe it. This paid for itself. And it's because we made it very affordable as well. And all those things easy. Like if you can send a text message, you can use our stuff. Like I always, because I've spent my life on a ladder, I know my team. I know what my customers are like. Nobody's tech savvy. It has to be as easy as that Nextel walkie-talkie. As easy as just literally one of my guys who hangs TVs was like, James, I got a 90-year-old on this the other day. That was awesome. I had another guy be like, James, I didn't have to drive around all Sunday. It was a roofing company. And another guy, he's like, James, like I'm getting 2 hours back with my 2-year-old daughter now because of this. Now, it doesn't mean it replaces always driving out, but it's all about that speed. Because, Darian, you know how this works. You're a customer. I'm a customer. When you got a problem, you got something to clean up, right, that you don't want to clean up, what do? You go to Google on your phone, and you say, cleaners near me. And I literally was in Orlando. I was speaking at a conference, and I secret shopped during my conference when I was speaking. I was like, I'm gonna secret shop people right now, right around cleaning companies right here. First company had 766 5-star reviews. I called it right there, put it right next to my microphone. Ring, 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 voicemail. What did I do? Went to 366-star, 5-star next. Call. Ring, ring, ring. AI robot answered. An AI robot. I was like, I have money. I need something cleaned. Well, thank you for telling me. If you can answer a few short questions, then I can transfer you a salesperson. I was like, I want to buy. Well, thank you for hearing that. If you can answer a few short questions. I was like, no, I will not answer a few short questions. Hang up.
Oh, okay. Real quick. So this AI thing, as much as we want to incorporate it or whatever, that's a gem right there. If you're getting to the point where people are getting frustrated on this AI automated call thing, that could lose you some sales. But go ahead. I just wanted to point that out right there.
No, it's spot on. Check this out. I was talking to a guy who owned a car detailing shop, cleaning cars, and he has 12 competitors near him. And he had a new manager show up. He's like, if you're going to take this job, you have to answer that phone when it rings. No question. That phone rings, you pick it up. I don't care what happens. Don't let me find out you didn't pick up that phone. Because here, let me show you. And they secret shop their 12 competitors. Only one person answered the phone out of 12. And the person who answered was like, yeah. He's like, is this so-and-so's cleaning? Yeah. What you want? Nothing. Bye.
Right.
Gone. Well, I'm out. No. He's like, that's our competition. That's who we're up against. You should make sure that you secret shop your own business and secret shop your competitors. I interviewed a guy who runs an 8-figure moving company in Seattle. You're not going to believe this. His sales manager is located in Poland. Remember, this is a company in Seattle. And his salespeople 37 of them are all in South Africa.
Mm.
And he has a countdown timer of speed to lead. How fast when someone says need a quote or makes a call, and he looks at that report with his team 4 times a day. He's like, I pay you to pick up that phone. Like, I interviewed the guy who runs Chick-fil-A. I was like, how do you get these teenagers to kick so much butt in Chick-fil-A? He's like, I tell them I pay you to smile, and if you ain't gonna smile, you can't be here. I pay you to say, have a blessed day. I pay you to smile. I pay you for this. This is what we do. This is who we are. We are a service business.
My pleasure. All that.
My pleasure. All
Absolutely.
that. Why do we do that? Because it ain't about us. Be the customer. So when you call Secret Shop, how was that experience? So here's what you're going to do now. When that person calls, it's race to the face. Right? Because I asked same room, how many AI robots you got out there who's your number one salesperson? Any hands? Any hands? Big old group of people. How many hands went up? 0. I was like, let me guess. Everybody here drives out fast as you can. Have you ever booked something the next day? I'll be out there tomorrow. You call them up. I'm on my way. Don't bother. I had someone come out yesterday afternoon. I already got them booked. You are in a race. Why the top wide receivers in the NFL are the fastest people and get paid the most? It's no different in a business. Race to face. So now when they call, hey, this is Darian's cleaning company. Can I send you a text and you show me what we need done? Boom. Now they see you. A face, a person always builds trust, and then you see them, and then you see, and it's all tuned up for third parties and a remote. And that's just the sales side. We didn't even talk about the project management side, because I had 2 crews. Now you could be in multiple places. You can send a text to your crew member, hey, boss, we got a problem. Show it to me. You can review sales calls. You could do before and afters. You can do customer testimonials. You can do a video before you touch anything. Right? So customers, oh, you marked up my walls. Let's check the instant replay. Could you imagine if they took the instant replay away from the NFL? How mad people would be? I'm telling you, I'm giving you the instant replay for your business. Once you have it, you won't be able to play the game without it, right? It's just what it is, but it might be new for you, but you need to think what you're up against. You're up against people who already use this through their CRMs, like a responsive bid. Can I send you boom, boom, boom? They get the recorded video. They're beating you out. That's why when you call the next day, hey, I'm on my way out. Like, don't bother. So now you got to start thinking 24/7. You can hire virtual assistants. Like that company in Seattle who has 37 of them in South Africa. Because a lot of times, people who work in the office, they come home and they find the big mess that their dog made at 7 o'clock at night. And it's not pretty. And they're making those calls. Who's going to win that business?
Right. Whoever is available to answer the phone.
And when does someone want to swipe a credit card? Right then. The farther you wait, I'll get it to you tomorrow. When somebody is calling, they are telling you, I am in buyer's mode. When someone walks in the barbershop, they're going to get a haircut. When someone calls you on the phone, they're going to close with me. They don't need to call anybody else. And now my customers are doing one more thing. I'm really get your brain spinning now. Everyone's familiar with QR codes. Thanks for the airlines. Every QR codes are everywhere now, all right? What you're going to do, the best place to make recurring revenue, the liquid gold of your business is customers you already have. Okay, customer. I'm a customer. I'm going to do customer thing again. I just got my roof changed 2 years ago. I cannot tell you the name of that company that changed my roof. That's a problem. Why is that a problem? What if my neighbor needs a new roof? I forgot who did right? So now what companies are doing is when they get on site, they'll say, hey, look, can I put a QR code up here on site, Mr. and Mrs. Customer? It's going to have my name, my phone number, and a QR code. So if you ever need anything cleaned, you just scan that QR code, take a video for me, show me what you need done. I'll instantly review it, and my team will come out. You don't ever need to think about another cleaning company ever again. Because what we're trying to do is box out Google. There's only one way to box out Google. Because everybody, they got a problem. They go look at the problem. They go look at the mess, or they go look at the water heater. They go look at the AC, or they go look at the breaker box. Everyone has to look at the problem. It's like a natural human thing to do, even though they know they can't fix it or clean it, right? But they still got to look at it. Now, you want them, when they see the problem, to scan that QR code and say, here it is. It's going to create a speed bump to Google, right? And even when a new family or a new business moves in, oh, I guess that's my cleaning company. There's going to be
Right.
another race to mark your territory. Just like dogs are peeing on trees, we go mark everything. We go mark everything. I want to own it. It reminds my customer. It boxes out Google, and it's speed to lead.
And
Right?
you're talking about like taking a sticker and sticking that sticker with the QR code on it. Yeah, I like what you were telling me about the plumber who would put his sticker on the back of toilets or whatever. If there was
Yep.
a toilet problem or a leak in a rental property or something like that, you looking at the toilet, you're like, I don't know what's going on, but you see that QR code right there and it says James Plumbing Service or something like that.
Yeah.
They'll just scan that, boom, right then and there. They're
Because
taking
what
a
does
video.
everybody do when the toilet keeps running? You lift up the tank lid, and then you
Right.
look underneath the tank lid.
Oh, it's there.
It's right there. It's like, oh, there, hello. Because only time you lift, nobody just lifts up their toilet tank lid to look in there.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a thing I do every day. I don't know about you, Darren. I mean, maybe you're a weirdo who likes to look inside your
Not
toilet
necessarily.
every day. I don't, you know. So you only look inside there when it keeps running or there's a problem. So when there's a problem, they pick up the thing. Who's going to solve it? If you got a problem, that plumber's going to solve it. Scan the QR code and let's get it done. Let's get it done right now, right?
Absolutely.
If they don't, if they don't know what they're doing. So think like the customer. If you wash windows, put a QR code on one of the windows. If you fix garage doors, put it on the garage door. If you take care of gutters, put it on the downspout. Mark your territory and box people out. That's how you do it. And that gives you your recurring revenue because you're busting your butt with marketing. You're busting your butt doing everything to get that new sale. Now you bring them into your company, and that's how you compound. Compounding is the way I only compound. I only sell recurring revenue. If I was going up against you, Darian, these are the things I would be doing to put you out of business. I'd be trying to mark my territory or take over yours. Even if I got to do, hey, I know it looks like you already got someone cleaning. I can do the same job cheaper. Let me put up my QR code over this. I'm your, like, does your customer really love you that much? Maybe they do. You're about to find out.
Right. Okay. This is great, man. And so basically all of that came out of your whole transition, selling the big company with your partner. You guys moved into doing the tech stuff and getting to this point now where, you're basically helping people get to the customer first.
Yes.
Or get to the walkthrough first.
And then box them out. Get to them first and then box them out. Claim your territory. 1-2 punch. And then put eyes on everything. As an owner, now you're going to see every sales call, every before and after, every customer testimonial, every issue. You can be, your eyes are everywhere. When you got your eyes on your business, not just your ears. We all got our ears on the business, but I'm going to tell you, you kind of have your eyes on your business. Not fully, right? Not fully. You're not at every job. You're not on every sales call. And if you are, it's time to make yourself redundant. It looks like you're ready to grow. Right back to our earlier point. So now as you grow the business, you still want to keep eyes on everything, right? And then same, because customers will come back to you and be like, hey, your guys didn't do this, or I said I wanted that, or well, let me check my instant replay because I have an instant replay now. It keeps everybody accountable. And you might have folks in your operations team, one that might not even speak English, which is fine, or don't like customers. What are you going to do then? Like they're great at cleaning stuff, but they stink with customers or upselling or. We have things where you actually can have that customer instantly get videoed to their project manager or salesperson or customer success. Let your sales people sell and your people who are in operations do the job. You're asking your people to do too much and they're not as good. Right? Because if you put me on a sales call, I'm going to upsell you. Hey, since we're on property, anything else need to be cleaned? Since we're already out there, it's going to be cheaper since you're already there. Let's get that done too. And can I interest you in our membership program? Here's what you're going to get. And then I'm going to upsell them to where they can pay me. And then, by the way, because of that membership, we are going to be able to put QR codes up so you can get me whenever you want me. And you get gold star service. That's just who we are. You see?
Absolutely.
Start weaving all these things together. Like this is here who we want to help you guys compete against because private equity is now coming and buying all these companies. It's a great time to sell your business if you want to. So now you're going to be competing against the big boys and girls. They're coming in. They have identified the main street businesses as the money makers. So money's going to chase money, and then you're going to have to compete against it or sell out. That's just where we're at.
Mm, that's big right there. That's a bar. I never heard that before. Money's gonna chase money. Man, that's pretty good. Okay, and then but what this does is it just really it's convenience. It's convenient for the customer and it's convenient for us as the business owner or the business leader not having to, because I'm thinking about it, there's plenty of jobs that I could have just gotten on the call with, and then they showed me around, and I didn't have to really go out there, especially when it didn't even work out, or it was something where I was like, man, I could have, we could have saved this trip.
Yep.
So that's good right there, man. I appreciate you on that. I wanted to ask you too. I see a lot of books behind you, man.
Yep.
That's one of my favorite questions to ask. What are some of the books that you recommend? What's your favorite books, man?
Oh man. Well, I've got a lot of spiritual books. I came from. I remember I had a lot of death in my life, so one of my nonprofits is I started churches. So we've got 5, soon to be 6 churches that I founded 13 years ago and going strong. So I got a bunch of that on this side. On the other side, I like to read about biographies of people like Einstein, Carnegie. Don't shoot me. There's an Elon Musk one there. I know that's a bipolar subject right now, but back before all this stuff, I read that book, and man, you want to learn how to. I think I was sleeping on the floor of his companies. There's certain hustle in there and grind. Like I've taken a company from nothing and made a multi-billion-dollar company. That is hard to do. It's hard to run a business, right? I like sales books. I got a lot of selling books back here. All right. I got a lot of product books you can't see. I got more shelves over there. So whatever I'm in, I'm educating myself. I don't Netflix and chill, right? I'm going to put Audible, books in between my ears, podcasts like yours. I mean, people already listen to this podcast are 2 steps down the chessboard because they're learning, they're growing, they're always doing that. So surrounding myself with audio books and physical books, and I also like investing because I'm a big investor. So I read a lot of investing books and money books, and I mean I went to school for that stuff. So I can read an income statement and balance sheet and tell you. You can give me company blind, and I can look at if I can look at your books. The books are where I can tell a lot about a company by their books. So learning how to read your finances is very important.
That's huge, man. And that's something that I'm still learning myself with my particular bookkeeper and accountant. I wanted to ask you though, if we were to go down the line, top book on this side, and then top book on the I guess the top quadrant on the left side, and then on the bottom quadrant.
Each quadrant, you want the best book.
Yeah. Which
right.
one? Both sides.
Okay, right here on top, this is a Bible that one of my best friends, he's in his 70s, I was best friends with his son, he has written on every single page, handwritten on every single page. He's getting ready to pass. He's like, what do you want? I was like, I want nothing. Actually, I want one thing. Give me one of your Bibles you've written in every page. It's incredible. So that's my favorite book on that one. There's a book called, Biblical Preaching. I had to learn how to preach. So I haven't started churches, learning how to preach, and I won't get into all that, but there's a lot that goes into it, and there's different ways to do it. So that keeps you up here. I got to give it. I'm going to give it to the Elon Musk book for chapter 18 and 46. If you're a business owner or entrepreneur, you don't have to read anything else but those 2 chapters, and you're going to get a life lesson in entrepreneurship right there. All right. Again, don't hate me for that one. Up here, you're going to have Swipe to Unlock. I invented products. I come from inventors. So there's that. Down here is called Gung Ho. Gung Ho. It's running your business by the data. I mean, you can read that book in like a plane flight. There's an old book called I Dare You. It's old. I mean, we're talking about it's probably over 100 years old. You can read it before you go to bed. It's so small, but it'll rock your brain like in a way you won't be able to think anymore. And then Accidental Empires.
Accidental Empires.
Yep. It's all about growing businesses and people. Like the big thing you'll get out of there is like, remember I was telling you, like, if LeBron James wants to get on your basketball team, and you don't have cap space, you have to fire someone. One amazing person can change your entire company. Because one person, there's some amazing people that can do 10x what anybody else in the company can do. And you're like, how is this possible? But like once you find those folks, like a small team can crush any kind of big team, but you got to go out there and find those highly competent people. They're called like 10x people.
I
So there you
love
go.
that, man. Yeah, that's great. I'm gonna rewind this or play this back and track down all those books, man, because I'm into that too. I'm building my library a little bit, and definitely would like to check out some of those. I've heard of the Elon Musk book, but you said chapter 18 and 46. I'm gonna make a note of that. Man, James, this has been great, man. I want to ask you too. Where could people find LiveSwitch? Is it on the App Store? If they wanted to get into this and check it out, man.
So we don't do any apps. Apps are too slow. No one's going to stop and download. Like, oh, well, can I download an app? No one wants to do that. They don't want to do that. So we don't do apps. So to find us, you got to go on the internet, which that's everyone's got, right? LiveSwitch.com, LiveSwitch.com. Book a demo. Ask for me. Just ask for me. Anyone who listens to this podcast, you usually, if you did that, you'd get probably a different sales person on my team. But if you want me, just ask for me, and I'll be glad to know you, get to know you, and talk. Because I run business too. I mean, a lot of times, I'll end up talking more about business than we do about technology. So you can get right to me that way, or you can find me on LinkedIn. Which if you're not doing LinkedIn, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, I could get on my preacher box right now, Darian, about some LinkedIn and people are like, well, I'm running a. You're running a, yep. You want to grow? Man, I almost want to get my soapbox out right now, Darian, but that's how people can find me on liveswitch.com.
Hey, go there real quick, man, because I think I need that. I created a LinkedIn a while ago, but I have not been active on there. I haven't been engaged. Give me some benefits of LinkedIn from your perspective.
Oh, let me count the ways. The thing is, people haven't been taught how to use it. This is the problem, right? And all right, so here's what I want to ask everybody to do. If you get one thing, just take this. Please take this. All right, go to LinkedIn, get a nice picture done. I had AI even help me. You can submit a bunch of pictures yourself, and it'll make it beautiful. All right, it still looks very real, so don't be scared of it. But get a solid, headshot. Okay, banner. Put the banner of your business up there. Make sure it looks good. You want to look pro. Okay, yes, you might have to spend a little money to get some help. It's worth it. Put your little about section, put your career history, and then here's what you're going to start doing. You're going to start with your industry first, right? And you're just going to go and you can hit the connect button to 20 people a day. You cannot do more than 20 or you'll get kicked off. So I know you'll be, for your eager beavers, all right, and you do this every day. Do it every day. And you can do it while you're sitting on the toilet. I mean, it's not hard. It takes about 15 minutes. And all you're going to do is hit the little connect button. Nothing else. No love notes, no pitching, no nothing. Okay? While you do that, maybe once a week, take a video or a photo of your team, of what you're doing, a before and after, a happy customer, or something that you've learned. Share a book you're reading once a week. Again, now I've given you maybe an hour's worth of work to do per week, okay? What do you get in return? Here's what you're going to get, and it's unbelievable. At first, maybe one or two people will accept you when you hit the connect button. But then what happens when you hit the connect button, a person who's on there will see, oh, Darian has 300 mutual connections. If someone reaches out to you and has 300 mutual people that you already know, what are you thinking, Darian? Why don't I know this person? And you feel like an idiot for a second. You're like, oh, I better connect with that one. Yes. Okay. Then as you keep sharing, and you start penetrating, you want to even connect to vendors. Oh, I know that's scary. Don't worry. We're not all trying to suck money out of you. We're actually trying to give you good stuff. Connect to vendors. Then start in your local area connecting to people that like think about who's referred to you before. Like, have you gotten a referral from a different business? Have you got a referral from, where have you got referrals from? Connect with those. Is it self-storage companies? Is it other electricians or plumbers? Or is it real estate agents who need a house cleaned? Come on, guys, think about this stuff. Like, start connecting to all those real estate agents in your area locally. And then guess what happens when they get on there and they start, now what you'll be able to do is you'll have a lot of LinkedIn people scroll the feed. And if something's interesting, you can actually click on who likes it. And you're like, ooh, start connecting with those people. They're engaged. They're there. They're liking it. There's life there, right? Here's what it could do for you. You might end up on a stage somewhere speaking. Happened to me. I was nobody in cleaning. I was a nobody in cleaning. Now I'm on stage. What? Okay. Vendors will reach out to you. You might even get sponsored by someone. Wow. You're going to reach out to people who refer you business. It's going to make you money.
Mm-hmm.
I guarantee it. It's made me thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. All right. And I'm not special. I just put in the work that you're not doing. But you can do it too. All right. And it won't take long. It's a game changer. It's a game changer. But look presentable, do a little homework. There's a reason I wear all this branded stuff, Darian. It's not because it is what it is. I can do what I want with my clothes. Let your clothes give your employees. Anyway, I can get off on so many soapboxes right now, Darian. Like, I promise I just keep dropping golden nuggets.
Uh-oh. Hey, man.
You
Okay,
got a
hang on real
visitor.
quick. Yeah, I do. They just made it back home. Man, that right there was great. Definitely, y'all, if y'all got some value out of that, 'cause like I did, make sure you hit the like button on this particular video and let James know you appreciate that. I am definitely going to hop on LinkedIn and start doing this, man, because that's something I haven't really thought about. I hear about it all the time. I get asked about it, but I have not given it the time and attention, like you said, man. So I appreciate that. And we'll definitely link up LiveSwitch and all of your whatever, if you got socials or anything that you want me to link up in the description, we'll do that as well. But when it comes down to any closing words, man, for the particular podcast, like if people want to get this one thing, go ahead, get what is that?
I just want to, you're already doing, by listening to this podcast, you are already 2 steps down the chessboard. I'm going to challenge everyone here to say thank you to Darian. Last I checked, you probably didn't become a multimillionaire off your podcast, right? You're putting yourself out there right now to give back to your community, to your industry, and I bet you haven't gotten many thank yous. So it would be really great and uplifting for Darian if everyone could just send him a quick thank you, or hit the 5 stars, like and subscribe. And the best thing you can do, even if you forget to say thank you, is share this show with one other person. Can you share this with one other person? Hey, I listen to this great podcast, Darian. He's bringing people on here. He's giving me value. You got to listen to this thing. Share it. That's my closing challenge. Show some love.
Thank you for that, man. I appreciate that. James, I appreciate you being on the show today and, man, tapping in with us and dropping so much wisdom and sharing LiveSwitch and your journey. I appreciate everybody out there that watched today. See you on the next one. Peace.